These cows shouldn't be here, and without them, this land will transform into this. I can't believe we just bought this place. Yep, that's right. We just bought a huge plot of land full of wild predators.
Wow.
Oh my God. Alien-looking plants and animals.
A giant worm.
Ancient trees found nowhere else on Earth, and this old farm, which we're going to give back to nature. But this is not just any random farmland. Because of the unique mix of geographic and meteorological factors, forests grow much quicker here than almost anywhere else in the world. 8 years ago, this was completely deforested. It was grazed entirely to the ground, and now it's towering above me. So we've come to meet the team of absolute legends who are building a nature reserve from scratch. They're going to help us unlock its secrets, explain the intricate ecosystems found here, and uncover the 5 wildcats that call this place home. We're Planet Wild. Welcome to Mission 38. The higher we get up into these mountains, the clouds just covering the road completely, and we're just driving through just a thick, dense fog. These are the cloud forests near Medellín, Colombia, and this place is special because here 3 different worlds collide. From the south, you have the very tip of the mighty Andes mountain range. To the north, the vast Caribbean plains, and out west, the wild Choco-Darien rainforest. So here, the flora, fauna, and fungi from all 3 ecosystems mix together, resulting in an exceptionally high concentration of different species. But when the fog clears, you quickly realize why this environment is in so much danger. This behind me is the main threat to the forest around here. It's a cow pasture, and it doesn't even make sense to have them here because the mountains are so steep and the land is inaccessible. It's just not efficient. But it was a practice that came over in colonial times, and now it's just a super common way to make a living around here. This area where I am right now is known as the Milky Way. So if we don't do something about it, then all of the pristine forests around here will just become like this, a cow field. And there's only one way to stop that from happening. So this is as far as the car's going to take us. So now we're about to follow this guy. This is Gato, and we're going down there. By the way, if you're enjoying the channel, why don't you subscribe? It helps us a lot, and that actually helps the planet. Cheers. You see, that's the house where we're going over there. Meet the team who are building a nature reserve from scratch. Christian handles the big picture, managing the logistics and finances needed to keep it growing. Then there's Sebastian. He's an ecologist, a specialist in rare flowers who can identify all the bizarre, unknown species hiding in the forest. And Mauro, a local naturalist who knows exactly what this land needs to thrive. Together, they're following a 3-step plan. Step 1 is buying land. Since buying the first parcel in 2016, the reserve has grown to 700 hectares that are now permanently protected from deforestation. But it's just got even bigger. For this mission, the Planet Wild community, together with Ecosia, are buying another 53 hectares for the reserve. Our new piece of land is made up of 2 parts, a dense, mostly unexplored forest, and a former farm that literally still has cows on it. And that brings us to step 2, the most beautiful thing about this project. To turn this degraded farm back into a lush forest, all we have to do is absolutely nothing. Let me explain. This specific ecosystem has a superpower. Right here, humid air sweeps from the lowlands up the steep mountains and crashes into the cold air at high elevations. This creates permanent heavy moisture at just the right temperature, letting nature regenerate much faster than in most places on Earth. And the healthy forest right next to the farm is really important too. The wind, birds, and other animals carry seeds over from the healthy forest into the degraded pasture, basically planting the trees without any human intervention. Fast-growing tree ferns shoot up first, forming a tall, dense canopy where pioneer trees start to thrive. And before long, the jungle is back. But there are certain species that are so rare, they still need a little help from us. And that is step 3. The team explores the forest in search of nearly extinct or unknown species, and there's one that has only 70 individuals left in the world. It's Magnolia polyhypsophila, an ancient tree species that evolved alongside the dinosaurs, and we're trying to bring them back from the brink of extinction. Tomorrow, we're going to explore our newly purchased land to see if we can discover any unknown rare magnolias in order to collect their seeds and save the species. And the night before our hike, we already get a taste for how wild this place is. One of their wildlife cameras just spotted a puma. Even though these cats can weigh in as much as 100 kilograms or 220 pounds, they're not technically big cats. And this makes a lot of sense once you hear their terrifying roar. In total, they know that 5 wildcat species live on the reserve, including the freaky-looking jaguarundi and the elusive clouded tiger cat, which was only just discovered as its own species. It's incredible to see them returning to this forest already, and it makes you wonder what else we might find. So it's early in the morning. We're setting out from the house to see our new plot of land for the first time. And I'm together with Andrea from Planet Wild. She lives here in Colombia and she's came to check out the reserve and to help me a little bit with translation because my Spanish is not the best. So let's go. I mean, look at these leaves. I feel like a child.
There's so high biodiversity that you can actually do much with a limited amount of funding. You know, we have 5 feline species, we have more than 18 hummingbird species, we have at least 3 magnolia species. By conserving only this relatively small piece of land, you get an impact on conservation for many, many different species. So you get a lot of bang for the buck in terms of conservation.
For this mission, we are super excited to be partnering again with Ecosia, and they're uploading this video on their channel as well. Most people know Ecosia as the search engine that plants trees, and for good reason, because they've helped restore ecosystems worldwide by planting more than 250 million trees. But actually, they do way more. Every time you search with Ecosia, the ad revenue goes towards supporting reforestation projects just like this one. So if you want to make a difference, you can switch your default search engine to Ecosia. There's a link in the description. After a 2-hour hike, we finally reached the forest on our new land. So this here is the actual entrance to the forest, and I mean, look at this. That's crazy. It has this like mystical vibe. We're descending into this dense, dense forest. I can't wait to see what's in there. You must surrender yourself and all of your camera equipment to the rain.
That's a worm?
Some sort of huge worm.
Oh my god,
What did you find?
A giant worm.
Wow. Oh my god. This is the cloud forest, and I mean, you can see why. We're in the middle of a cloud, and that permanent moisture, along with the incredible steepness of these mountains, means that there's so many different habitats, and that leads to an incredible explosion of life. Because of how humid it is, the plants can get all their moisture from the air and simply grow on top of each other. One big tree can host thousands of plants, and these create tiny micro-ecosystems where all sorts of other things can live.
A single tree in a cloud forest is like a whole ecosystem by itself, and a lot of creatures can spend all their life cycles on the tree without ever leaving the tree.
As well as countless plants, amphibians and insects that can be found only here, Sebastian has set up camera traps to see if anything bigger walks through here. Okay, so we've just reached the first of our camera traps. We're going to see what we found. Oh.
Someone moved.
What's that?
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. It's an ocelot, the undisputed king of the truly small cats. It punches way above its weight class, hunting prey like deer and monkeys that should be out of its league. It's so dominant that it actually dictates the population of every other small cat in this forest. Biologists call it the ocelot effect. Basically, it runs the neighborhood.
And this is the place where we're going to have our lunch break. It's insane.
Navigating these streams is often the only way to access the super remote parts of the reserve. So if we want to find those rare magnolia trees and all the other undiscovered species hiding in here, we need to learn how to get down these waterfalls.
We are not only going to buy a piece of land, but we also will train our team and equip our team with gear that they need to get around in very steep territory. So we are doing training on canyoning, tree climbing, first aid, so that they can move safely here. It's a very steep terrain, it's humid, there's no mobile phone coverage in many places. So you have to know how to get around.
Together with Ecosia, we're funding the salaries of 2 rangers who will look after this land year-round, and trainings just like this to allow them to search for endangered species they can then conserve.
That was a bit scary, yeah. That was pretty intense.
Back on the trail, deep into the dense forest, we stumbled upon old scratch marks of the biggest cat found here in the reserve. Right here, we have evidence of the ultimate apex predator. It's the jaguar, the biggest cat in all of the Americas. It's incredible to see this because it means that they're already using this reserve as a corridor. And this is a big deal. They need up to 100 square kilometers of healthy, connected forest to survive. So finding one here means the ecosystem is thriving. I can't believe it. But rebuilding a healthy ecosystem isn't just about saving animals. It's also about transforming the lives of the people who live here. This is Luz Dari. Many locals like her used to rely on cutting down these forests to survive.
Antes era una vida bastante compleja, bastante difícil. Nosotros tumbábamos la montaña para poder hacer carbón de madera, pero no lo hacíamos pues por maldad, solamente que era una época que nosotros no teníamos el conocimiento.
But the conservation project offered her a chance to protect the landscape instead of logging it. Today, Luz Dari is a birding guide. She spends her days exploring the forest she once had to clear.
Nosotros tenemos aquí una cantidad infinita de pájaros, de ranas, de orquídeas, y vaya uno a saber qué más cosas hayan por ahí que no se ha podido descubrir. Me considero que en un futuro yo voy a ser, si Dios me tiene a mí, hay muchos años, una buena guardiana.
Okay, something crazy just happened. So we're exploring our forest and we just came across this tree. Mauro somehow spotted it, Magnolia polyhypsophila, which is a species of magnolia that we thought there were only 70 of left in the entire world, and now 71.
It's a young one, but it's already an adult because it has flower buds.
Mauro's climbing the tree to check its health and see if we can find any seeds to collect. If we don't do this, very few seeds will actually produce a new tree. So the team here learned how to best grow them in their nursery and where to plant them for a maximum survival rate. And in the process, Mauro seems to have developed a supernatural connection with the magnolias. allowing him to feel exactly when the seeds are ready to harvest.
Despertarme, por ejemplo, un domingo y pensar, tengo que ir a aquel árbol, tengo que ir al árbol número 24 porque, no sé, tengo que ir. Y yo llego al árbol y precisamente está el fruto abierto y maduro. Y esto me ha pasado muchas veces con varios árboles y yo me quedo como Dios, ¿qué es esto?
Okay, so it's 6 p.m. right now. We've been at it for 12 hours and we're just on our way back, but the darkness is starting to come in. We're not exactly sure this is the right path, but we'll see, I guess.
So we've almost made it back and the night has fallen and it's crazy. The jungle just becomes a completely different place because some creatures only come out at night.
Oh, what the hell?
To be in here surrounded by the buzzing of the insects and the singing of all the frogs, it's just amazing to think that the farm that's also on our land, which is currently empty and doing nothing for nature, will soon transform back into this thick, dense forest full of life. The craziest thing is that we haven't even scratched the surface. Being here, you know there's just so much more to discover. And that's why it's so important to protect places like this and to support this project. So if you want to make a difference, you can join Planet Wild as a backer. Every month, we go on a mission to bring back endangered species, to clean up our oceans, and to restore entire landscapes. As a backer, you're directly supporting people on the front lines of nature protection, and you can see your impact for yourself here on the channel. So if that sounds good, there's a QR code here or the link in the description. Thanks for watching and see you next time.